So, Todo got a few changes since my last Todo guide, making some of the parts completely obsolete. Instead of repeating myself too much today, I'll go over what those changes mean for Todo. Now, Todo got 3 major changes that I'd like to address. The first one is a change to his R special Boogie Woogie and how it interacts with the R variants of Pebble Throw. Now, using Todo's R special or the R variants of Pebble Throw puts his R special on cooldown. But only the R special actually required it to be off cooldown to use. This meant that you could use your R special and then directly afterwards use the R variants of Pebble Throw. This was apparently a bug and was fixed in a recent update, making it so that you can no longer do this. Now, this change especially sucked for Todo, since being able to cancel moves and still having access to Pebble Throw plus R special was really great for him. Not only did it give him an option to bait out evasive, but cancelling Swift Kick or Elbow Drop gave them some really useful properties. If you cancelled Swift Kick right after the kick part, you just got more damage off by virtue of it becoming an M1 reset. But more importantly, if you cancel Elbow Drop right after the uppercut, you get an unevasivable super high damage combo. This is because your enemy gets put in true stun right after the uppercut of Elbow Drop. And because you still had access to Pebble Throw plus R, you could re-stand them up and combo extend off of that. This was really useful for Todo because he kinda sucked at baiting out evasive. Now he has to win way more interactions to actually kill someone. It's sad that Todo lost some skill expression from doing the cancel, since it's a lot more situational now, and using your R special to cancel moves is also way riskier, since for 6 seconds afterwards you're unable to combo really well. But at the same time, I kinda like how you're forced to think about when you cancel moves, since it's no longer just the default best option. Now, Todo also received a few buffs, and the first one of which addresses the issue of him not having reliable evasive bait. The second change gives Todo the ability to aim the throw after Swift Kicks. At first glance, this change might not seem that valuable, but the ability to aim Swift Kicks opens up both new combo routes and gives Todo reliable evasive bait. Before this change, this move was easily punishable. Granted, Todo didn't have any end lag after hitting the move, so you could theoretically block behind you, predicting an evasive. But to actually get any value out of Swift Kick, you had to immediately go for the high startup move Pebble Throw right after, which meant your opponent could just react and see what you did and then evasive out. This meant the opponent could just react to the startup of Pebble Throw to decide whether or not they wanted to evasive and punish you. The ability to aim Swift Kick solves this issue completely. Ragdolls in this game only start ticking down once the opponent hits the floor, meaning if you aim the throw upwards, they're gonna be ragdolled for a lot longer. And then when they're too far away to evasive punish you, you can go for Pebble Throw. People are also unable to evasive and punish you directly after the throw, since they're going to be thrown above you, meaning their first M1 won't actually hit you. Now if you ragdoll your opponent before Swift Kick, they might be able to evasive between the kick and the throw part, but this can be circumvented if you just wait till the end of their ragdoll before doing the kick. This will stand up the enemy, preventing them from using their evasive. This change alone is already really neat, since it gives him a way to reliably bait out evasive, but the ability to aim the Swift Kick's throw also comes with another boon. If you aim your throw downwards, you do ragdoll the enemy for less time, but because they're so close to you, it becomes easier to combo into other parts of your kit. Now, if you don't have Pebble Throw available, you can throw your enemy downwards. That way you'd be able to land a 4th M1, an uppercut, or an elbow drop right after the throw. Now this is inherently risky because you give your opponent the ability to evasive and punish you immediately, but as long as you're keeping track of your opponent's evasive, you should be good. Now earlier I said that you could combo elbow drop after a 4th M1 or a Swift Kick aimed downwards. And elbow drop doesn't hit ragdolled opponents, so you might think that I was talking about hitting them just as they stood up. And you're kinda right. Now, previously, you were able to hit them as they stood up to be able to hit them no matter what, since it was unblockable and they didn't have time to side dash. But they were still able to counter this, unless you hit it frame perfectly. Now, this third change is a change to elbow drop, giving it a lingering hitbox for ragdolled opponents. This means that if you just time it slightly well on people waking up, they're gonna be unable to counter or do anything. Meaning that he essentially has 4 moves that hit ragdolled opponents. This mitigates a lot of the risk associated with using the move, since before this change, if you hit it too early or too late, you'd whiff the move entirely and give your opponent a free combo because of the massive end lag of elbow drop. not even mentioning the fact that you needed to hit it frame perfectly, otherwise you could risk getting countered. Now this change, along with the change to swift kick, gives Todo a lot more combo freedom, which just amplifies the strength of his advantage state. He can convert any stray hit into a combo with any cooldowns available, which makes him really powerful if he can stay on top of you. Now, Todo also received a few other changes that I decided not to give a full segment, since I either didn't think they were impactful enough or I didn't understand them well enough. I'll just quickly go over them here. The first change is Perfect Swap and Fake Swap getting their cooldown reduced from 2 seconds to 0 seconds, which lets you do some pretty stupid things. Perfect Swap now also refunds half the meter used, making it essentially use 3% of your ultimate meter. All of the swaps now also have less startup, while Fake Swap specifically has less end lag. This does make them slightly safer to go for at close ranges, but it's still not recommended. Swift Kick's hitbox was decreased and now slightly lingers. I'm not entirely sure what this means. I'm not sure if only the kick or both the kick and the grab was affected. I know that some people like to use Swift Kick in M1 trades to use the little burst of movement to get out of M1 range and then donk them again with the kick as you turn around, and that was made slightly less effective by this change. Todo's special is now faster when in awakening. This makes the special act as if it's used on a ragdolled opponent, which means no blue indicator and almost 0 startup. The lack of startup means that Todo won't get slowed down much by using it, and the lack of an indicator means that people can't really block this on reaction. This means that you have a slightly easier time catching up to people, but Todo's ult still gets hard countered by people running away. This is still a positive change though, since it addresses one of the main concerns about his ultimate. Now, one of the main things that got outdated with my last video was the combo segment. So I'll just quickly go over the most optimal combos with all of your tools available, the most optimal evasive proof combo, and then how you can string his moves together to just make your own combos whenever you have certain cooldowns available. This first combo is Todo's basic beginner combo. You start off with a front dash followed by 3 M1s into a down slam. Then you do swift kick into pebble throw plus R, then 3 M1s into an uppercut into elbow drop, and then brute force right after. This combo is really effective and stupidly easy to perform. The few things you have to keep note of though is that after the down slam you wait until they're about to stand up before doing swift kick, so they can't punish you with an evasive between the kick and the grab. Also remember to aim upwards with the grab, so they can't evasive punish you after it. And remember to not use the pebble throw plus R variant if they get stuck on rubble and is therefore too close to you. Uppercut into elbow drop was made more consistent due to the hitbox changes, and elbow drop into brute force is true unless they get stuck under rubble, in which case you shouldn't go for the brute force. This next combo is an evasive proof combo. You start off with a front dash followed by 3 M1s into swift kick plus R, then another 3 M1s followed by elbow drop or brute force. This combo doesn't give your opponent a chance to evasive since they're stood up for the whole combo, and utilizes the swift kick M1 reset tech to do this. After the last 3 M1s you can do either elbow drop or brute force. Brute force isn't completely true in the sense that your enemy will be able to counter it if they have a counter move, so basically go for elbow drop if they do have a counter, while brute force is more optimal if they don't. This third combo is the most optimal combo Todo can do. Be warned though, it is incredibly hard and super inconsistent to land. You start off with a front dash followed by 4 M1s, then do a swift kick plus R followed by 3 M1s into an uppercut into elbow drop. Then you do 4 M1s while they're ragdolled, hitting them on the 4th. Afterwards you do a pebble throw plus R, then 3 M1s into a brute force. This combo utilizes a lot of tech that I'll explain in just a moment, but you just need to know that this combo is almost entirely impractical. If you could get it down consistently, it would be the most optimal to go for, but due to how inconsistent elbow drop is, I wouldn't recommend going for this when it's only 8 damage higher than the beginner combo while being way more inconsistent. Now, before I end this video, I'll just quickly go over how to string his moves together. Everything you see on screen is possible to do with Todo, and some of these are a lot more intuitive than others, so I'll just quickly go over the harder ones. Landing elbow drop after any move that ragdolls the opponent is all up to timing. I'd recommend just going into a private server with cooldowns off and just trying it out to see when you have to do it. It is slightly dependent on your enemy's ping, but I think it's worth learning since it opens up a ton of combo routes. Aiming swift kick downwards allows you to utilize get up theory to hit an uppercut or a 4-thumb 1. If you aim upwards, you can catch people on the way down with a down slam by side dashing while M1ing. Uppercut into an uppercut, a down slam, or a 4-thumb 1 is done by uppercutting the enemy and walking under them. This makes them land on your head and delays the wake up long enough to land another uppercut, down slam, or 4-thumb 1 on their wake up. Now landing an uppercut, down slam, or 4-thumb 1 after elbow drop is incredibly difficult. You utilize the same technique where you walk under your opponent to make them land on your head to delay their wake up, but for elbow drop specifically, you sometimes bounce up alongside your opponent, preventing you from doing this tech. To stop this from happening, you need to land the move as far away as possible and not press any keys during the animation. That way you'll stay on the ground, making you able to do the tech. Now for Todo's awakening, nothing really changed. Everything I said in the last video is still true. So if you want to know what combos to go for or what to do in Todo's awakening, feel free to watch the last video's awakening segment. Now that's everything I had to show today. Hopefully this video inspired some future Todo mains, or showed some previous Todo mains that he still has some sauce. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe and like, and if there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments. Alright, that's all. Bye!